Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Kind of sounds a little bit like the conversation you just had about wanting the spotlight. This is what I said about it, and I love it. I want to see them going at it. I want to see them playing physical. I want to keep this racist crap off the court where it belongs.
Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own it. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level.
Stephen A. Smith just made a statement that rocked the WNBA. In a surprising claim, he dismissed the notion that Angel Reese could even be considered a competitor to Caitlin Clark. What Reese did afterward completely shocked the fans.
Well, first of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points from opening.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that up.
The league was hyping up a Clark versus Reese rivalry, the intense rematch of their 2023 NCAA championship showdown. From Reese's viral "You Can't See Me" moment to their fierce WNBA matchups, the narrative looked like a jackpot for the league. But now, Stephen has completely shredded it.
Supporters, well, I told you guys there would be a follow-up video on the nuclear fallout. That's exactly what it's been. Over the take foul, as Caitlin Clark is calling it, and that's a great way to say it. It was a take foul. She was trying to prevent a wide-open layup, although one could argue that.
On The Rich Eisen Show, Stephen A. Smith was blunt and unfiltered. He stated outright, "It's not a rivalry. Not when you lose by 35 points. Caitlin Clark is on a whole different level." While he acknowledged that Reese is a talented player, he emphasized that she isn't on Clark's level. His remarks sent shockwaves throughout the sports media. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
That you just simply don't. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past it. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates it. And that's fine. It's okay.
The timing couldn't have been worse. Just days before, tensions flared between Clark and Reese during the Fever vs. Sky game. Clark was called for a flagrant foul after making hard contact with Reese, igniting chaos both on the court and online. While it was just a basketball play, the clip quickly went viral, drawing massive attention.
Her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So
Reese is reportedly furious over Stephen Yes remarks. Though she has remained composed publicly, insiders say she feels overlooked, undervalued, and disrespected. After all, the league had promoted her as Clark's counterpart, only for her to now be told she isn't even in the same league.
the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark. Now, you might, if you stay long enough, maybe you'll see something or someone that you go, okay, I'm entertained by this. But there's nothing wrong with admitting that you watch a sport because of one's...
This controversy goes beyond basketball, touching on deeper issues. Fans point out that media coverage often favors Clark, while Reese's achievements are frequently overlooked. When Stephen A., one of the most influential voices in sports, declares she's not even a rival, it lands as more than dismissal. It feels like a slight. The fallout was immediate. ESPN personalities clashed, with Ryan Clark arguing that analysts had crossed a line. Robert Griffin III added fuel by suggesting that Reese harbors personal animosity toward Clark, shifting the narrative from a rivalry to a personal conflict. Suddenly, this wasn't just sports commentary, it was a media war. Fans quickly picked sides. Clark supporters claimed Reese was obsessed with her, while Reese's defenders labeled Stephen Yes comments as another example of media bias against black athletes. The WNBA found itself at the center of one of the most divisive debates in modern sports. Then came another twist. The league launched an investigation into alleged racist remarks directed at Reese during the Fever vs. Sky game. Days later, the WNBA admitted it couldn't substantiate the claims, but by then, the damage had already been done. By then, the narrative around Clark versus Reese had grown into something far bigger than basketball. Even after dismissing the rivalry, Stephen A. Smith urged both players to embrace it, arguing that competition, without personal animosity, benefits the league and their personal brands. But the question remains, was this tough love? Or did he just crush the WNBA's biggest storyline? Stephen E.'s declaration that Angel Reese isn't even Caitlin Clark's rival ignited the WNBA. Fans were stunned, Reese supporters outraged, and one of the year's most intense sports debates was underway. Yet what Reese did next completely surprised everyone. To understand why Stephen E.'s words hit so hard, we have to rewind to April 2023, when Reese and Clark set March Madness on fire. Clark's record-breaking performances made her a household name, but it was Reese's now iconic "You Can't See Me" gesture during the NCAA championship that went viral, creating an overnight rivalry. Or at least, that's how the media framed it. On The Rich Eisen Show, Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back, stating, "It's not a rivalry. Not when you lose by 35 points. Caitlin Clark is on another level." He acknowledged Reese's talent, but made it clear she isn't on Clark's level. Just like that, the league's biggest storyline went up in flames. Tensions were already high. In a recent Fever vs. Sky game, Clark was called for a flagrant foul after hard contact with Reese, and the clip quickly went viral. While Reese downplayed it as just a basketball play, the internet went into a frenzy. Sources close to Reese say she was furious. For months, the WNBA had positioned her as Clark's foil, the fire to her ice, the villain to her hero. Now, the most influential voice in sports had effectively erased her from the narrative. For Reese, this was about more than pride. It touched on money, legacy, and respect. The controversy highlights a deeper issue. When Caitlin Clark trash talks, she's celebrated for her passion, but when Angel Reese does the same, she's labeled unsportsmanlike. Sports psychologists call this the double standard in women's sports, something that has followed Reese since her college days. Within hours, sports media weighed in. Ryan Clark defended Reese, saying she was being unfairly targeted, while Robert Griffin III escalated tensions further by suggesting Reese harbors personal resentment toward Clark. Suddenly, the rivalry Stephen A. denied had grown bigger than ever. This isn't just about points on the board. For Reese, being framed as Clark's rival carries huge financial implications, endorsements, visibility, and her status as a face of the league. All of that could be undermined by Stephen E.'s dismissal. Some argue that race also plays a role in the bias, as Clark continues to be positioned as the premier figure. By framing Clark as the humble hero and Reese as the emotional antagonist, the media risks reinforcing harmful stereotypes. While Stephen A. Smith claims Angel Reese isn't Caitlin Clark's rival, her next move could prove him wrong. Will she rise to the challenge, or will the media narrative define her forever? One thing is clear, this story is far from over. When Stephen A. sat in his ESPN chair and boldly stated that Angel Reese isn't Clark's true rival, it wasn't just another opinion. It was a seismic moment that reverberated across the WNBA, sports media, and fan communities. For years, the Reese Clark rivalry had been the centerpiece of women's basketball coverage. From their unforgettable clash in the 2023 NCAA championship, highlighted by Reese's now iconic "You Can't See Me" gesture, to their intense professional matchups in the WNBA, the storyline practically wrote itself. Networks capitalized on it, advertisers profited, and fans quickly picked sides. Then Stephen A., the loudest voice in sports media, dismissed the entire narrative, effectively stripping Reese of the role that had transformed her from a college standout into a national sensation. The timing made the blow even more dramatic. The WNBA is experiencing its most significant growth phase in history. Record-breaking viewership in the WNBA has been driven in large part by Caitlin Clark's arrival and the viral attention surrounding nearly every move she makes, and Angel Reese has played a crucial role in that growth as both Clark's on-court rival and her media foil. Behind the scenes, however, Reese has privately voiced frustration over the unequal treatment she receives in coverage. When Clark trash talks or displays swagger, she is celebrated as passionate, competitive, and even Michael Jordan-esque, yet when Reese exhibits the same intensity, she is often labeled unsportsmanlike, overly aggressive, or even toxic. This glaring double standard has left Reese trapped in a no-win situation. She can either soften her image and risk losing the authenticity that makes her magnetic, or embrace the villain role and endure relentless criticism. By declaring that Reese is not Clark's equal, Stephen A. Smith did more than bruise her pride. He put her brand, endorsements, and financial future at risk. Being marketed as Clark's rival was never just a storyline. It was Reese's pathway to visibility, recognition, and influence in the league, and now that opportunity has been threatened, creating tension that extends far beyond the court.